PCS3 Asia, let's go! There you go, the trophies from the previous Global Championships. Which some of those, a lot of those belong to Gen G. Will they be back at the Invitational? We have yet to find out which teams will be there, but regardless, we're on a jet plane. We're leaving for the last game of 2020.
Gen G dropped already.
Where are they going?
Nova?
They could go Nova. Where, are we seeing the old Gen G Gold?
Expecting the island finish. There was no one at Nova. Pero goes to the main island towards the base.
It could be. Wow! This is shades of previous Gen G. The olden days.
Olden days of going back to 2018.
Now I'm all nostalgic. So now the question for Tianba is, well, you don't have any questions. It's like, oh, we get.
Yes, because they were basically the last
ones out. Look around. They're like,
They're like, what? What?
Is that Jack? Is GEX? Is that Gen G? They have it all to themselves. You're right. Everything's okay for them. VLG and 4AM might be squaring off. Are they going to go for this at the apartments, or is VLG going to long drop?
Really?
Are they going to go for it right now? Are they angry? Are they angry at the angry men?
Are they angry enough? I think so, Paperton. I think they're landing right on top of apartments.
I see Deva down. The circle's about the same.
Oh, no.
Deva is out. He's spraying. He gets a shot to land. Gonna have to reload, and he doesn't want any more of it. Just gonna start looting now.
This ain't PCS2 anymore. And actually, for a lot of the members for 4AM realizing that VLG had the parachute down first near the school, they actually spread out crazy all the way far out, 2-2 split. Right in the middle, there's VLG near the apartments.
Yeah, this is more because of the bad plane path than anything. I don't really expect that it was 100% VLG's idea coming into this game to fight 4AM again for the apartments in this last game. I think it was more just, well, the plane path just kind of dictated it, and why not? You know, you might as well go for it.
And for Tianba, all those strategy tactics that they thought coming into the final game against Gen G, okay, let's try to work this out. Okay, let's do this, plan A, plan B, plan C. I'll just throw them out the window, burn them to shreds because Gen G is not here.
So this circle is a little more south starting than our last one did. There's a little bit less, not much. So what kind of finish are we going to have? Is it going to be in a similar kind of area? MCG has a lot of options available. Again, the circles have been very favorable to them to start today.
Yes.
They made use of it on Miramar. The first game, Erangel, not so much. And this has a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, coming up from Pachinki, especially because this VLG forced the split onto 4AM, makes it a harder rotation towards that Potato Mountain. So I think Entis will be waiting for that rotation. Here's the vehicle first and then move out, unless they suddenly change their rotation, because this is the final game, as they do need a big point if they want to finish in the championship and get that trophy.
Yeah, and I'm keeping my eyes on the map as I want to see exactly what MCG is up to. They're heading
moving
right to the mansion area. Detonation Gaming White already has somebody up on the Sky Garden.
Yes, Cess is all the way up there.
So there's nowhere over there. K7 has moved up to the Lipovka Hills and Lipovka area. So they're going to block that particular rotation off. They're heading a little more north as well. It looks like the mansion might be the home for now for MCG. I saw him take a few shots over towards K7 as well, but you can see OPGG rotating around the southern side as they are the winners from the last game. See if they could go back-to-back. They could.
Yeah, evenly covering the top house right next to the mansion. And to get some fires, to shoot out onto K7. Just warning them that we're already here. Don't come at mansion at all, because they know that K7 is the closest enemy. But a lot of these rotations are looking for that mansion. OPGG, we have rest of the MCG. Also, Freecs.
Tires out. Tires out. AO spins. He's going to get out. Is he going to take any shots at Lingdu? He's not really able to. He took some damage from New Happy as well. So AO is going to need a pick up some assistance from his teammates. Early rotation here across Potato Mountain for Entis right into VLG territory. Deva's going to take some shots. Doesn't get the knock, though. That was close.
Yeah, that was a timing where 4AM should have already rotated out, as still to split, and VLG, they want to surround on the other two members of 4AM. They're not done. They want to continue. Forever is down. Xiaolu in the compound, but for how long? Against 4 men. the real 4 Angry Men looks like VLG right now.
VLG is just so bitter.
Yes.
This is like, they are a bitter ex-girlfriend that's coming out and keying your car, doing this to 4 a.m. They are so mad that 4 a.m. took this spot. I don't blame them. I would be too. That is a great spot to have. They love it. They know it so well. They know how to utilize it. And they're going to get Lou as well.
Xiaolu's gone. Just got VN Crazy left for 4 a.m.
Good start here for VLG. That pretty much puts 4 a.m. kind of well behind them. It looking good for VLG to have a potential top 5 finish depending on what Gen G does.
As we have somewhat not exactly the same as you mentioned it already, Paverton, but still Entus looking for that this small hill. Exactly where they had the 2-2 split before with the Sky Garden and the compound that you just saw on screen.
Yeah, you can see Kale is reaching out a bit towards the Sky Garden, but this time it's going to be Detonation Gaming White making an early rotation over there. So that's going to force Kale over to the blues. What people call the yellows. I got yelled at for calling them the blues. I'm like, well, guys, that's the color they changed to. Now they're blue. They're not yellow anymore. Deal with it. Deal with reality, people.
Yes, the dark blue. But Tiemba making, yeah, of course, with easier loot, certainly, from Jurgo. Making a big rotation. I think they want to come down from the starboard side. After checking from the storage or the storage area, you should get a pretty good idea, as they have a lot of time.
Yeah, this is actually really nice for Tianba. This could not have gone better with this plane path, with how everything shook out, with Gen G going to Novo. This opens up a little bit of easier movement for them. It's not easy coming from the north side down into the south, past the Yasnaya fields and stuff, but you can move over to the coast. That's still available if you want to try to come in from that direction. That's a little more doable. We just saw that's what OPGG basically did in the last one. They came through the forest, over by the mansion, and then came in from the east.
As OPGG got a pretty good control over those Entel houses towards the east of Yasnaya. Looking to maybe get back-to-back chicken dinner. And just going across the road, Indigo trying to get a feeling is if anyone's actually in that Sky Garden. Trying to cut across the road and then look for a few more compounds. I think he has spotted both.
Yeah, they're going to see GEX trying to get... GX is trying to go for the same compounds they had last time after Entus moved out of this area. And they're going to be held up short by Sungjong. And the others, the roof from the flat top, this is sushi without the fish on top, is this particular house. There's no salmon on top of this, just rice. So I guess it's not really sushi, it's just a rice ball.
This is actually a pretty good compound because to the north you have that small hill, so you don't take any damage from the field. You only have to reach out to all the way the west houses that has a lot of windows. And this house is actually pretty good loot at the same time. Yeah. So Entus is going to keep that marked up with Indigo on the other side, Kale all the way on top, just in case it bounces back up to Yasnaya.
Yeah, for Entus and MCG, they're both pretty well centrally located. So there's still a shot. Tianba has to get into the northern apartments of Yasnaya. That's where they're going to set up shop with M200 going up the hill to provide, recon and overlook for them. And really the important story for this is going to be the next couple circles. Really, which direction are we going to start shifting? If it just keeps centering up, then we're not going to know for a while what the story is going to be, because Entus and MCG will just kind of be in it.
Yeah, I think MCG, after going towards the cliff last time, learned their lesson, saying, okay, we have to go for the early rotation near the mansion, and they got the early control. Yeah, with no losses this time. As long as they keep their placement points, they are going to win the entire tournament.
Are they just going to mirror what OPGG did last round? Because right now they're doing the same start, and OPGG goes a little bit more north this go-around, but nobody's as north except for oh my goodness.
Towards the water.
What in the heck is that? I mean, I love it from a circle, from a viewer perspective, from a player perspective. This is a potential wild one to finish.
All the teams out of the circle right now saying, well, how do we actually rotate into this? Now, a lot of the teams are going to come from that prison shelter side. They know for 100% Entus immediately goes onto the vehicle, rotating towards the Lipovka side and maybe towards the cliff, but there are a lot of teams in the way.
Yeah, they're going to cut through MCG territory a bit, but there's a lot of trees, like G-Clef has been mentioning on this side, so they could pretty well be covered up. You could fit in between the mansion and those Lipovka houses.
Certainly so much better in terms of their pathing on Erangel compared to Miramar. Of course, had a lot more chances coming out from Pochinki, easier said and done. Might actually run into K7 though. K7 split apart. And Entus, do they go for a challenge? I don't think they should.
No, I think they're going to back off a bit. They're taking some damage along the way. Nothing critical just yet. The vehicles hold together for now as well. So Entus, there is some stuff back here that they can work with. There's no one over here. So in that sense, it's safe. But those Morados, that's the wrong map. Those Dacias took a whole bunch of damage.
Yes. Those old cars, man. As their engine's running dry all the time, eating a lot of gas.
Those old Eastern European cars. They're nice, they're fast, they're quick, but they're not the strongest. They're not built for that.
Certainly not, as we'll have the circle bouncing off the water soon enough with the next phase. But Entus, I think they got a pretty nice split around the cliff, and with that control, and Genji actually not bumping all the way on top into Entus. Entus should be okay. I think this is certainly the best start for Entus in the final day.
I think it's the best option they had available. They make a decent run for it. I think MCG continues to hold down that mansion very nicely. Nobody's been able to get in there to try to share it with them, and that's important. Because you can't have anybody else getting into this compound if you're MCG. It's going to make things way worse for you in multiple aspects, in that you could lose members in the fight. It's going to make your rotation slower. There's a whole bunch of problems that it creates.
Oh yes, and Yappy all again in that jungle right on top of Mansion. As K7, Yappy would actually be looking into somewhat of a push if they get a chance. So Onyx actually made the push on to under after hearing the vehicle sound from under, pushing out all the way to the cliff so that he could get the information into Lipovka. Immediately pushed back to his squad. So great choice by Onyx by Genji there.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. If you can get information for free, you should do it. It makes a lot of sense to make sure you know what's going on with your opponents. Phase 2 winding down. Sun Sister has made their way into the south of Yasnaya, just in case you're keeping track. VLG up on the north by Mini Stalber. I don't know. People have different names for different stuff, but that one I like to call Mini Stalber with the warehouses. Under, he is, like you mentioned earlier, G-Clef out on the coast and just making sure nobody's coming out from the Lipovka area. You can keep pretty good overwatch from there.
And circle's closing. This is where it gets pretty nutty. As MCG right into that mansion side goes all the way on top towards Kameshki's side.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Advantage Entus in terms of the teams that are still in it to win it. And Entus is already on the move, already in their vehicles, ready for these hard shifts. This is typical Entus style. MCG is going to be late on their rotation. I only see Evil Lee in his vehicle, and everybody else is already making their move. So this one's going to have to be an edge game from MCG, but we've seen them make it work. They're very, very good at it.
It's Thanksgiving time. We got to move out and go back to the houses, your homes, as if you can find the home. And Genji, they are running into a lot of other fights. K7 bringing PO down. That's a big loss.
Yeah, big loss in transition for Genji. Now they're running across Entus sight lines as well, and it's pretty flat, pretty open. Let's see if anybody from Entus can connect a shot. The shots have not been ringing true for Entus here today. They've been a little off. They need to get it fired up. They need to get it going right now. In the meantime, Pero and Genji just run right into each other. What in the world happened here? Onyx and Aqua 5 get 2. XTD
Genji's gone!
Finishes the job. Sungjong does get a point here on the Mamu at least for Entus. Under gets long DD as well, so 2 points fall into the hands of Entus.
Oh, great steal there, as they were looking to stretch that out, and they got some line sight, and also there was a big fight from Yasnaya. I think 2v4, 4AM versus Sun Sisters. Guppy is down, but Crazy actually got a lot of points on it by himself.
Well, now Entus, as long as nobody attacks this compound, it's pretty good angles down into Pero, who are stuck in the horseshoe dip. That's a tricky position to work with. If there's a lot of territory to the east open, that horseshoe is hard to hold.
Yes. As Roa just says, okay, get out of my way. We're taking over the space where Under was just a couple of minutes ago. Infantry right on top, but you can actually push from the bottom here.
Infantry's in full retreat. They lose that member on the bottom, and they're not in a good position to fight, and they also want to rotate further into the circle, and then maybe fight from there. Tianba is now in trouble. They lose lose Mings. That's GEX and Lycanon. CC gets the knock here. Mings is down, and Tianba goes further and further from being able to compete for that top spot.
And now, since they're in there with not too many vehicles, I believe, by coming in deep, they have to really rely on the next circle to shift hard shift towards the south. Unless that happens, I don't think Tianba is going to bring a chicken dinner. And they're certainly holding a pretty nice position. MCG, this is a wild tactic. So they're staying out in the edge, knowing that a lot of the compounds are already taken. And this is a strategy where they love to push with the maximum amount of kill points swept from the edge.
Yeah, they're really good at it. We've seen them fight teams and just dismantle them. They're some of the best in the business at doing that, and it does hard shift up to the north. So they're really going to have to make it work. Now, there is a knock on the Summer from Booyahoo from quite far away.
Can they find the kill?
That's like 400 meters almost 400 meters. That's a crazy good knock. And that's,
again.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's almost all over for Tianba. This is disaster. That vehicle's going to roll. Lonely.
Yeah, Linshu, Luren, they can make some magic work, at least. They're the two-man army from Tianba, but losing 2 men already. It seems like they are going to stay third.
Now, if you're Entus, do you try to block other teams from coming in, or do you prioritize entrance? It looks like now they're taking shots at K7, so that made the decision for them. Tianba, in the meantime, is just trying to find something to work with. And MCG,
yeah,
they're already coming in way late. There's another point for Entus.
Yep, there are lots of rotation happening at the same time, so they can't pick up every single kill point. Oh, but I think they okay, this is a good spot. I don't think they should have rotated too early on. But I think they wanted to grab more points within the rotation of the other teams.
Yeah, I think the idea is that you're going to get more points from the edge. MCG might just bop right into infantry or somebody here. They're cutting through the middle. Afreeca's in the way, though. MCG, this could be trouble. It depends on how far Summer can get in here. Summer does get ahead on that motorcycle. EJ's going to try to light somebody up. The vehicles are going around for MCG. Nobody's taken out yet. A bunch of damage here, but no knocks just yet.
Yeah, only onto infantry actually running into them, and MCG just goes straight past, but one down. Evily does go down, so better news for Entus. I think they went to third-party infantry right now, or even into Afreeca.
Takey did get knocked as well. Oh,
person.
Almost. Oh, I thought that grenade was good.
I thought that was good too, but regardless, Dumba's going to take Tianba down. Tianba's gone, and just MCG and Entus right on top.
Third place for now for Tianba. If OPGG has a big round, that could change. We'll see. We got to keep our eyes on Entus. Starting to make their way forward. Infantry is gone. Afreeca Freecs handle them, put them in the bag, and say thank you very much. 2020, good games, Infantry, this year. They've been fantastic, but this event was not theirs.
Yeah, and this is going to be the push. The deciding push for Entus. Can they actually keep the entire squad up against the Afreeca Freecs?
They've done it before. We've seen them dismantle Afreeca in dips, but this one's a little different. It's a little wider. It's a little more spread out than the last time we saw that. Is that Molly on top of Dengche? I think it's just short. MCG in the meantime is hurt. VLG's trying to get it done. Lambert comes around the side, trades. It's going to be a 1-for-1 here. Lingdu taking a bunch of damage. He is down. Summer, the only one left here for MCG.
Only one kill for MCG. Still 11 teams left alive. And Entus, they know Tianba's out. MCG is only left with one member. Do they actually make the push?
It just has to be careful. K7 has an angle into this fight, although they are busy fighting Detonation Gaming White. So the faster this fight happens, the better. Afreeca might just opt to bop on out of here, and Dangche maybe a sacrificial lamb as he's taking a bunch of damage from throwables. EJ backs up, tries to set up to provide an anchor position. Now it's up to Hansi and Roa to hold the line.
Yeah, as long as Entus keep this under control. Wait, Songjiang just went down against EJ.
Yeah, this is not looking good right now.
He's not in circle.
This is bad. They keep taking damage. They're not connecting their shots. Entus is just not quite the same. Now, Under does get the knock onto Hansia. Under's going to get 2 onto Roa, but it's going to be a turn. EJ steps up. Kale trying to hold the line. Under's knocked. It's just Kale. Kale is so hurt. Kale is done.
What?
That is it.
Entus is gone.
That is it. That's going to seal the deal. I think we could count this one for MCG at this point. I don't think there's any hope for OPGG.
Entus thought they had a lot of chance because Afreeca Freecs, they were stuck behind the vehicles, but EJ striking from the side, got all the shots in under. And Entus, I think they were just fully under pressure. They had the right wing, they had the right angle, not too far away from each other, but they just could not collapse onto Afreeca Freecs at the right moment.
Their shots just weren't great. They weren't landing a lot. They were
No.
throwables weren't as good as we've seen. Just it wasn't a bad fight, but they did have pressure from K7 on the side. K7 does end up handling Detonation Gaming White. Spear is going to get to our nice little 3x spray up and over there. But at the end of the day, Afreeca was just too much this time around for Entus.
And Entus just not enough. Was close, but EJ always a player that can strike onto any other squad and win a 1v3, 1v4. And Summer's going to stay alive on his own. So let's see if VLG actually pushes on after taking care of Griffin, as the blue is actually closing on top of him.
Yeah, Juanida's reaching out for something over on the side. But let's go over to this fight between OPGG and Pero. Pero still survived because everybody else decided to fight each other. So this horseshoe, which is normally dangerous, became okay because there were so many teams trying to rotate on the east that nobody was even looking at Pero very much.
Pero's still alive with just 2, but that's a pretty good spot. As long as you have the vehicle set up, you can actually stay there for quite a lot of time, unless there are some nades coming down from the hillside. And in this case, GEX, they're not even close to it.
Summer just got another kill. Why not add some insult to injury here, as Summer is doing a victory lap right now?
Yes, I think he knows it already.
He has to, but he still wants to get as many points as possible. He might as well finish this out in the best form you possibly can. And there is GEX up here. CC hears this, but CC still pretty far away. That's a good 200 meters away from Summer.
I think he wants to pick up some more. As K7 right in the dead center, right below where Summer is. Oh, OPGG.
Just back to back, the timing. Good timing there from Barrow. Now AO gonna have to try to get this done. A 1v2, some quick peeks, some quick leans, maybe?
They have to be quick. Afreeca Freecs, they're closing in, and once they stop, they're actually going to get pretty nice cover. And even against K7, that's a great spot to be in. You can actually stay there for a very long time.
I was gonna say, I don't think AO can really think about that res. I don't see that happening in a million years. And indeed, Pero just gets up high enough to take him down. More grenades, but AO is sufficiently far away from all of this. He is behind the tree. He is hanging out. And for now, oh no. Okay, just finish it, Hansia. Just put him out of his misery.
Headshot first.
Yep.
And into body. One more.
Whoa. Wow.
Whoa.
Just
Ayo.
whiffed. Just whiffed. Just whiffed on those. He had the headshot lined up, but after that, wasn't able to get a handle on that. The SLR is tricky. It does kick a bit.
Yes. Again, EJ striking into GEX all the way. They're coming from the top. As in the compound, you can't really get a good angle. Yes, K7. Summer. Oh, just please. One more point for MCG.
Yeah, this is, again, the victory lap continues here for Summer. I think he still has that motorcycle available to leave when he so chooses. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he has to go in with the
He
blue.
can actually run down because of a lot of trees. And from the compound, you can't actually get this far. And there's a lot of heals that you can use right on the right side.
True.
And he's
But
not going to be spotted for a long time.
The motorcycle. It's fun.
You want him to go out with
I just wanted to go out with style. I'm serious. I want to, like, run somebody over.
What if he wins?
That would be impressive. I mean, if he wins, that is one of the coolest things.
Unless K7 comes out, or unless GX rotates all the way north, Summer can actually stay alive for a very long time from that top.
Yeah. Nobody's here. Nobody's looking. Nobody cares. Everybody else is busy. Now, one thing I wanted to say is, I was thinking with that earlier moment with OG and Entus, they should have taken the position that K7 had. They should have been. They had priority on this compound.
Yeah, that's sure. But once you're in the compound and once you also control the wizard tower, all you're looking for is against the Afreeca Freecs, where you have some angle, but not entirely. It's really hard to get that unless you get a massive headshot and a knock. Yeah, you can't really even pull all the way to the side because you know that there's GX on top of you. Also, Pero from the southern side. So K7 just looking for some better circle finish.
It's a hard position in some ways. Afreeca can stay behind those entrenchments. There's a thaw shelter. You can't go inside of it. It's just a door. But there are those embankments there. You can stay behind those safely 100%.
Yeah, Summer, I think he will looking to third party against GX versus K7. That's the best he can do. Or he can just stay put. Afreeca can get an angle on him, but I think they're focused on Pero right now in K7. Afreeca should be pushing towards Pero if they get a chance.
There's a placement spot to be played for here between Afreeca and Pero, so we should really keep our eyes on that. Some money on the line a bit there. Not much, but, you know, it makes a difference. And Afreeca had some good moments in this tournament and looking to see if they could finish on a high note. Qualifying for back-to-back PCSs is no small feat in and of itself, and they did a good job to be here again.
Certainly the best spot where you can be as Summer. You hit an angle from Afreeca Freecs, and Afreeca Freecs can get that kill if he's open. I don't think they even spotted him. GEX, there's no way they rotate north to be the easy target against Afreeca Freecs. So it's up to Pero. Where do they actually rotate? They can only go sort of straight up on top.
If you can knock Savior inside of the Wizard, you have a chance. You can push that then. It just depends on if you can get that. Otherwise, you got to try to wrap around the backside and try to get underneath Afreeca, which is probably not going to be easy.
And as soon as Afreeca starts shooting on Pero,
you're late, Crate.
that's still out of the circle.
We're leaving.
Next circle.
We're leaving without you. This is the Home Alone movie. Now you're stuck at home, alone, in the blue.
I was focusing on the minimap for a second as K7. I don't think they're coming out at all, forcing everyone else to fight first. It's GX. They can come down?
Yeah, it's not easy.
But they don't have to, as...
You can see Loxlock pretty well aware of the angles that GEX is likely to take, but there's enough of the circle up here that GX can wait. And the problem for GX is going to be the space they have to work with on top. What throwables does K7 have? Because you can kind of guess where players are up on plateaus like this and land a couple grenades or mollies and just, you know, knock them out.
Yeah, but if GX comes from the south side, with the trees, you can get 100% vision block. And I think they realized that the problem is Savior from the Wizard Tower. He's going to have open fire. So you can't really come down, just waiting for the next circle as Pero still barely at the edge and finds a knock onto Dengche.
Oh no,
that's
Afreeca.
big. But you can't really go. You can't really dive in right now.
No, that wasn't really the best idea. Afreeca needed to be aware of this. This was one of the two likely rotations that Pero had to try to make. Oh, good headshot from Savior. Nice. Doming. XDD is knocked, and Itancia finds the target, finishes the job. And there you go. A good series here for Pero, but it looks like Afreeca's gonna overtake them.
And Summer is still there, right in that next circle. And that's a spot where it's supposed to be after everything cleans up from the compound. When Afreeca Freecs, they're out of the zone. They have to go across the road, fight against Savior. Summer may just use everything to his advantage.
And I want to point this out, K7 could get their second win. They could find themselves with 2 chicken dinners in this event, which is a huge accomplishment for them, I would definitely say. And then I say, I'm so sorry, K7, I didn't mean to cast or curse you. I am so sorry.
A favorite then.
My bad.
Oh yes, Afreeca after that knock, perfect time, but Summer is waiting. But there's Groza from Hansia.
Is that a frag? Is that a frag on the ground right there? Oh my
There's
God,
one
what a
onto
shot.
EJ.
Is he gonna get the second? They
Gotta be
roll
careful.
Up.
Oh,
Oh, it's a Groza, you mentioned it. Hansia, he finishes Summer. MCG is out, but they are assuredly your champions. We'll get to that after this game is over. There is still a match to finish out. Afreeca looking to seal the deal and maybe topple. They have toppled 4AM, maybe toppled Gen G. They could go up quite a bit here.
Yeah, I think there was already 13 kills for Afreeca. They can certainly go up with a great placement to finish the last day. GX K7, they just have to fight as Afreeca took the best spot away from Summer.
And this all goes back to them holding off, just barely surviving with one member left standing against Entus. Had they lost that fight, this could be Entus in this position. We could be looking at a completely different situation.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, and again, I'm going to go back to this. I think Entus just got too nervous. Their shots didn't seem as as good as I'm normally used to seeing from them.
And comes to fight GX. Loxlock oversteps just a little bit too far, trusting onto Savior, but Savior could not really save his teammate. GX does win that compound control.
Center of this circle is right in front of Hansia on the other side.
It's on the road.
Yeah, it's almost on the road. It's really close to the center of that road. So it's going to be hard for Savior. He's got to cross the road, smoke wall down. He's going to look for some prayer grenades, seeing if he can knock GEX out here. A few are going up and over. They're connecting on the side where nobody is home. And another stun as well. Nobody available for that one to find.
As Afreeca Freecs, I don't know how much resources they have left. But they're also pushing towards GEX, knowing that Savior is alone. Has to come up. Hansia ready with that Groza again. Trying to finish off K7.
Spins around. Doesn't get anything out of that. Savior now spins the other direction, but Leo is there waiting. This is going to put K7 out down in third place. Now it's a 3-on-2 GEX versus Afreeca Freecs. The Freecs want to finish this one on a high note. Who wouldn't? Dengche, Hansia, EJ. Stellar players here. EJ, by the way, and Hansia are just nutty fraggers. You can see here 5 and 6 for them already. 13 kills for Afreeca. Now, see if Yanli and Leo can finish this one out with a win.
It's all about the fights, but Dengche's got a favorable position. Yanli trying to crawl from the back and take the blue behind his back and crawl slowly.
Afreeca's got great positioning here. They've got the ground underneath them. They've got cover with that ground in front of them. EJ watching GEX. GEX, the blue is now here. They're going to have to make a move or just secede. You know, there's no other options. They got to try to come around the side.
Yes.
They're trying to do it in force, but Afreeca's not going to let it happen. There's no way, Jose. Afreeca gets one. Afreeca looking to finish the job, and it's going to do it. Afreeca Freecs take the final game here at PCS Asia.